Hello students, let us continue Act 4 Scene 1 from line number 270 onwards. Previously we saw that when Sherlock was about to cut upon the flesh from near Antonio's hut, Portia asks him whether he has got balance to weigh the flesh, to which Sherlock says that I have them ready. Balance means the beam balance sort of. Then Portia again asks him, "Have you have by some surgeon, Sherlock, on your charge to stop the wounds, lest he should bleed to death?" So then she asks over here that if he has brought along with him a doctor so that he can stop the wounds, the bleeding that would be coming out of the wounds of Antonio. To which Sherlock says, "Is it so nominated in the bond?" That is, it means to say that, is it so mentioned in the agreement? Then Portia says, "It is not so expressed, but what of that? It were good you do so much for charity." To which Sherlock says, "I cannot find it. It's not there in the bond." Then Portia says, "You merchant," that means she is referring to Antonio over here, says that, "Do you want to say anything?" Antonio says, "But little." That means I have little to say. "I am armed and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. Fare you well." So he says goodbye to Bassanio and says, "Grieve not that I am fallen to this." He says over here that you should not be sad, thinking that I have fallen a victim to this misfortune because of you. Then he says, "For herein fortune show herself more kind than is her usual custom. It is still her use when she used to do something wrong, but Antonio says that he has been saved by fortune over here. He says, to let the wretched man outlive his wealth, to view with hollow eye and wrinkled brow an age of poverty, from which lingering penance of such misery that she cuts me off." So you say over here that it is always the custom of fate to allow the unfortunate man to remain alive after his wealth is finished. Such an unfortunate man that spends his old age in poverty and goes through it with sunken or hollow eyes and wrinkled forehead. But fortune has cut me off from such a long drawn pain of that kind of suffering by offering me death at this particular age. That means I'm not going to grow old and then get into all the diseases and then die. Then he says that, "Commend me to your honorable wife. Tell her the process of Antonio's end. Say how I loved you. Speak me fair in death. And when the tale is told, bid her be judge whether Bassanio had not once a love." See, over here he wants to say that, "Convey my greetings to your honorable wife and tell her the way in which Antonio died. Tell her also how much I loved you. Speak well of me after my death. And when the whole story has been told, ask her to judge whether Bassanio had once a friend or not." And he says that, "Do not repent after I am dead," because he says that, "Repent not you that you shall lose your friend, and he repents not that he pays your debt." It means to say over here that do not feel sorry that you would be losing your friend. Your friend, that is Antonio himself, is not sad that he has paid a debt for you. Then he says that in his last two lines he says, "For if the Jew is Sherlock, to cut but deep enough, I will pay the debt instantly." So he says over here, with all my heart. He says over here that is not Antonio himself is not sad that he has paid a debt for you, because if the Jew only makes a sufficiently deep cut I will pay the debt with all my heart, most gladly. So he's telling that although I am dying over here, but you should not worry, Bassanio, because the debt that I had taken for you, I'm paying for it before dying. So you should not be worrying about that you need to cast off the burden of debt. And so he says goodbye. We'll continue further in the next video. Thank you.